Welcome to a presentation about the benefits of using Microsoft SQL with Exchequer. The approach to the presentation is to set a high-level context around what is Microsoft SQL Server, followed by a position statement of where does Microsoft SQL sit within the market for database management systems. And then we'll explore the benefits, which will break down into a range of distinct categories. And finally, I'll highlight where further information can be obtained. So, what is SQL Server? In general terms, SQL Server is a database management system that can be responding to queries from client machines formatted in a SQL language. In the context of Microsoft, it is the cornerstone of their comprehensive data platform, a data platform that is based on a relational database. That in our context, in essence, is the information required by Exchequer structured across a range of related tables that are scalable. Scalable, in this context, we're talking about the accommodating of significant volumes of data that could be reported on in a number of differing ways. And SQL Server, although the cornerstone of Microsoft's data platform, does also include a powerful range of reporting tools, such as analysis services, reporting services, and report builder, all of which are accessible by individuals with the appropriate skills, but equally is not limited to these tools, as a key part of the benefit of using Microsoft SQL is its connectivity with other third-party reporting offerings. So when we start to compare the market and we look at the database management system market itself, we can see clearly where Microsoft SQL Server sits when compared to the Pervasive variant. So Microsoft are in the top right-hand quadrant of this diagram, along with IBM and a couple of others. And Pervasive, although not directly shown, because Pervasive were purchased by a company called Actian last year, and Actian are shown in the bottom left-hand quadrant of niche players. But what does this mean? Well, Microsoft, in this report by Gartner, an established market research organization, classified as a leader. And they were classified as a leader due to their targeted focus on the Windows market space, which is based on their continued investment and the functional depth of their offering. For the Windows platform, the vast majority of applications for the small to medium market space or ERP solutions and their varying partners are all based on the same database. This is great news, as I'll highlight when we focus on the benefits later. But of course, with such a vast array of software vendors working with Microsoft SQL, immediately the domination in the Windows markets starts to make a huge impact, because there is now a clear single solution that a whole community of integrators are working with. So, from the perspective of Exchequer and Microsoft SQL, what are the benefits? From our perspective, we've broken the benefits down into a number of key areas, these being reporting, interoperability, Exchequer itself, continuity of service, cost savings, compliance, and some SQL-only modules. If we pick out reporting to begin with, and if we explore this particular magic quadrant from Gartner, we can see impressively that Microsoft were also classified by Gartner as a leader within the software market, whereas we will struggle to find Pervasive or Actian because they don't bring to market their own specific reporting offering. They are dependent on partner solutions. But when we think about reporting for Exchequer, there's a number of kind of key headings that we're interested in. Warehousing, data warehouses, is a key tool set that we can take advantage of. And a warehouse is, in effect, a parallel repository of data being fed from our core Exchequer operational data that is a great way to report without impacting day-to-day operational performance. There is also data cubes, which is in effect a restructuring purely for reporting purposes data so that we can use it with other reporting structures and tools accordingly. Due to the dominance in the Windows market of Microsoft SQL Server, there is a massive and diverse range of reporting tools available. Not only the standard tools that ship with the product, but also a range of tools that connect effectively with the data to provide a truly rich and diverse offering. This is particularly useful where Exchequer is concerned, as a data warehouse that has been created can be used in conjunction with one of our modules, Analytics, which is a BI reporting tool, again providing an additional rich functional reporting option. All the reporting tools that connect with Microsoft SQL Server could be used across a number of platforms, such as devices and of course the traditional workstations. And if I briefly digress and bring forward a spreadsheet, I'll just highlight how data could be used in perhaps a non-conventional way. So for instance, here we have a spreadsheet that is connected to our SQL data. We're approaching it at the moment via a number of pivot tables. But if I go up to the Insert option, on my right hand side here I have a map tool. If I launch this power map, what I can then do is look at my data in a very different way. So this is using a heat map to demographically reflect the placing of new customer records over a period of time. So as time progresses, we can see where our business maybe was successful. Equally, we could drill into a particular area or drill out, and we can see a whole trail of focused information that is available for us, so we can again drill in, review accordingly. And this is all taking advantage of the reporting tools that we have available to us. Another benefit area for working with SQL Server and Exchequer is around integration. And if we focus on interoperability for a moment, we can again relate to how Exchequer's data within the Microsoft SQL Server can be effectively used by other complementary applications. There is such a community of developers who are familiar with SQL Server that the correct guidance from us can add an immense degree of value to an organization using Exchequer in conjunction with other solutions. Because the information is structured, developers are helped significantly by the clarity of the relational database. For instance, if we switch briefly to the Management Studio that comes with SQL Server, we can see the structure of tables. If I do a quick query to screen, so here for instance I've just switched across, there's my Exchequer database, and if I come down the list of tables to a very simple example, go to my customer lists and I'll just select the top 1000, hide that away. We can see at the bottom here a list of our customers, and we can see in tabular form their addresses, etc. So with the field names across the top, developers are able to clearly understand what's being presented to them when they are connecting. And I'm only touching on a couple of key points here, but integration, there are a significant range of features and approaches available to developers. For instance, developers can create specific views of information within Exchequer data, or in some controlled locations add triggers to tables, both being excellent tools. But fundamentally, because there is clarity, options of interacting with the data within Microsoft SQL Server, this means a really effective end-to-end business solution can be provided for companies using Exchequer with Microsoft SQL. Another headline area of benefit is compliance. So from the perspective of compliance, there are three headings of recognized security standards, so data is secure, industry standard database structures, and increased compatibility of infrastructure. And what we're really trying to talk about here is really leveraging the fact that Microsoft is a leader in the market. This viewpoint was confirmed by Gartner in one of my earlier slides. Therefore, we know that security of data is not a concern. The database is a standard used by most software vendors, and of course therefore improving compliance between applications across a company's infrastructure. Continuity is another heading of benefit, because if we take a step back a moment and just think of the topics broadly, we could see that by basing on Microsoft SQL, we are focusing on as close to future-proof solution that can be available to us. Microsoft invests enormous sums of money to keep their products in a leading category, which means the functional continuity is going to be there. They're going to continue to groundbreak and add new functionality, and which helps vendors like Exchequer provide continued improved functionality with the minimal amount of disruption. There was always an upgrade path that goes with it. And the nature of this data and the way that they are working, especially we're now heading towards a cloud infrastructure quite often, we have an improved disaster recovery scenario available to us that works very well in conjunction with how we may wish to manage our data. Another area of benefit would be around cost savings. If we step back and recognise the fact that companies very rarely have a single application, if all of these applications are using a single database engine rather than an individual niche alternative, cost savings will start to be realised. So for instance, around a single database, you're going to have a single purchase, single tenant licensing. Maintaining different servers and databases is a direct overhead cost. Therefore, focusing on a single database reduces these operational costs immediately. And preparing a disaster recovery process once is always going to be preferred, rather than having to have multiple recovery plans for different servers and different databases that perhaps could only be backed up at specific times. Now, if I think about the benefits of moving to Exchequer where SQL Server is concerned, companies currently using Exchequer on Pervasive can be reassured that the process of moving to a single Microsoft SQL Server database provides an opportunity to, in effect, reassess their usage of Exchequer and perhaps what data they wish to be migrated. Equally, because the interface is the exact same from the core product of Exchequer for Pervasive or Microsoft SQL, retraining is minimal, simply because the interfaces don't change. Therefore, we're not really impacting all your users. There is also no immediate impact on the Pervasive data edition. So once a migration has taken place and data has been migrated, the old data is still available to be reviewed as required. The SQL Server edition also has a range of modules that aren't available on the Pervasive database version of Exchequer. This means we've got a range of additional modules that could come in handy. So, for instance, these modules, the first one I've already touched on today is the Analytics module. It's a great business intelligence tool. It takes full advantage of the SQL Data Warehouse features of MS SQL and adds another level of reporting to what is already quite a diverse and comprehensive solution for reporting with Exchequer. We then have a number of remote user-based modules. There is an ability to record timesheets remotely, expenses remotely, process requisitions and purchase orders remotely, manage our projects as a project manager remotely, or provide a self-service level of functionality to our own client base. But most significantly is a library of web services for integrators to take full advantage of interacting with Exchequer through the Web Services SDK. So if we recap a moment, I hope this has been an informative brief walkthrough of what we perceive as the benefits of working with Microsoft SQL and Exchequer. So let's recap. What are the key points? Minimal disruption was the point I was making earlier. For anybody that is considering moving from Pervasive to Microsoft SQL, the process is a managed, structured process that is tailored very much to meet a minimal disruption to your businesses. Microsoft, being a leader and a huge investor in their own software and R&D projects, makes the platform as future-proof as possible. The diversity of the reporting options are all fantastic complements to the core offering of Exchequer, so reporting is a key underpinning feature and benefit of moving to Microsoft SQL, and indeed the opportunity to take Exchequer to a fully integrated solution with other applications within your businesses. So, thank you very much for your time today. For further information, either visit our website or mail us at info@exchequer.com. Thank you.